This is the Khmer Times News. My name is Paolo Bonini, and these are your headlines. A child dies in hospital, and the mother blames the doctors. A man brutally murders his own brother. And another man who wants a cigarette so bad, he shoots up a restaurant. But firstly, it's our tragic headline story. The headline read, "Mother claims that hospital caused 17-year-old daughter's death through negligence and lack of professionalism." A child has died in hospital and a mother blames the doctor. And now Kampong Speu Provincial Court has ordered an inspection of the hospital to find out what it is that went on. It all started when a mother admitted her young daughter to Kampong Speu Hospital. She had a fever, a headache and shortness of breath. The doctor drew blood and he then administered a serum drip. After a while, the daughter vomited and her breathing only got more laboured. Further investigation by the doctor showed that she had inflammation of the heart, and he said to the mother her condition was serious, but she could be treated at that hospital. But soon her condition took a downward turn and the doctor sent the girl to the emergency room as her difficulty in breathing only got worse. It was at 8 p.m. the young girl's skin became pale and alarmingly her eyes started to swell, and then suddenly her heart stopped beating. Things were now very critical. They managed to get her pulse going again, and it was then the doctor had a change of heart, saying the mother now needed to go to Khmer Hospital immediately. But when she got there, the doctor at Khmer turned her away, saying they could do nothing for the critically ill girl, and she in fact had to go to a third hospital, that being Kampong Speu Provincial Hospital. When she finally arrived at that third hospital, the doctor said that her daughter had suffered a severe heart attack and now had only a 10% chance of survival. It was only 1 hour later, the teenage girl died. The mother broke down as all hope was now lost. The mother says her daughter died due to the initial consultation at Kampong Speu Hospital. But the hospital themselves state they did tell the mother to take her to the National Hospital in Phnom Penh, and they say the girl's family refused to do so. Now, this case has caused great concern, as a young life has been so tragically lost. And now officials have stepped in, and an inspection of the hospital will be made to see if anyone of the medical professionals who acted, did they act in a less than professional manner. On this week's Crime Desk, a man kills his brother in the most horrifying manner, a man slaughters his wife in the woods, and a man wants a cigarette so bad he shoots up a restaurant. A most violent and vile murderer was brought to light this week in Kampong Speu province when a man was arrested for murdering his own brother. The headline read, "Man arrested after killing brother and throwing him into pond." The crime itself was one that was full of rage. The incident occurred at 7 p.m. in Prey Veng village when Hyun Phuon, 42, killed Hyun Pol, aged 46. The two brothers had got into a heated argument, one that would only get more violent. The younger brother turned away from the blazing row and went back to the family house. It was there he retrieved a handgun he had hidden. He grabbed the gun and then he went back outside. He levelled the weapon at his brother and he shot him 4 times in the chest. The older brother fell to the ground. But the suspect was far from done. He advanced on his sibling and then he proceeded to kick him repeatedly in the throat. The older brother died in a pool of his own blood. The The suspect then dragged the body over a ploughed field and threw it in a pond not far from the family home. It was not until 3 days later family members found the decaying body. They looked on in horror at the corpse and immediately they called the police. It was not long until the police went to arrest the younger brother. He was soon taken in and he now faces a judge. Now we have yet another case of murder within the family. And again, it happened deep in the countryside. And how it all ended is truly horrifying. The headline announced, 2 bodies found in murder-suicide case. Earlier this week, residents found the bodies of a husband and a wife in Karachi province. The bodies were of Den Dong, aged 38, and his wife, Srey Nang, 44 years old. Both had disappeared days earlier, and nobody knew where they were. That was until the younger brother of the missing man, a Mr. Den Pen, went into a local forest to collect bamboo to repair his house. It was there he was consumed by an overpowering stench. He strongly suspected this may well have something to do with his missing brother, so he called upon other villagers to help him search the area. And it was not long until they found 2 rotting bodies, now being consumed by insects and other prey. The bodies were so decomposed they initially did not recognize them as the missing couple, but soon the awful truth dawned upon them. The man had found his own brother and sister-in-law dead in the woods. The authorities were called in and an investigation revealed a most horrific crime. The autopsy stated that the husband had taken a large knife and he had brutally stabbed his wife repeatedly. He then, quite incredibly, had turned that exact same knife on himself and plunged the murder weapon into his own body and stabbed himself to death. No other people are sought in this inquiry, and so far, nobody has any idea as to what the motive was behind this bloody murder-suicide. There is something that sends me absolutely batty. I mean, it really, really winds me up, as I feel it is wholly unacceptable in the 21st century. I refer to people smoking in bars and restaurants. It seems incredible to me that now we are also very aware of how bad smoking is to health. I find myself in restaurants sucking in people's cigarette smoke and their berry and badger scented vape. Now, I have very strong feelings on this, as I am the worst kind of non-smoker, and that is, I'm an ex-smoker. I was on, and this is no joke, 80 cigarettes a day, and you may doubt that's even possible, but it is, as I was drinking 2 bottles of vodka a day as well. And I'm telling you, getting off nicotine is unbelievably hard. So when I saw this headline, I thought, oh look, it's someone who feels as strongly as I do about smoke in public places. The headline read, "Foreign gunman arrested in Phnom Penh after disagreement over smoking." I initially thought he was of the same views as I, hating smoke in confined places, but it turns out we're in fact diametrically opposed. You see, this guy is so very, very keen on smoking in restaurants, he sparked one up at his table. But when he was told he was not allowed to smoke inside, he lost it. He argued his point with staff, and when that failed, he stood up and walked out the restaurant, and then he pulled out a handgun. He then decided the best course of action was to start blasting the windows with gunfire. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, it wasn't long until the police arrived at the Shiyang kitchen in Phnom Penh. The 32-year-old Chinese man was arrested with a Glock gun, which is rather an expensive handgun, and he was placed in cuffs and carted off to jail, a place where he could also not smoke. So it seems he's out of luck on the smoking front, and it may well be an awful long time before he can ever savour the fresh air of freedom. A shorter story to conclude this week, but I feel it very much worthy of note. And also, I don't want every news show to be dripping with blood and the firing of handguns. So it's nice to end on a positive note. And this happier tale, I think, could be of benefit to you, as the Apsara authorities have announced the soft launch of mobile app to help explore Angkor temples. Now, this app is more than you may think, so do stick with me, as this new mobile app called Visit Angkor is designed to help all learn more about the famous Angkor temples. According to a recent announcement by the ANA, the app aims to enhance the visitor experience at the Angkor Archaeological Park. Now, this is where it gets interesting, as the app offers a lot more than I would ever have suspected, as there is a range of helpful information, including not only the history of the temples, but also recommended visiting circuits. Do you fancy a short day out, or maybe you fancy a longer one? There is highlights of each temple. There is maps and locations of essential facilities, such as restrooms, parking areas, and information centres. Pretty cool. But it goes further, and this is the bit I really like. Additionally, the app offers updates on annual events, local museums, and tourism communities, and major attractions throughout the province. The Visitor Angkor app is now available for download on both the App Store and on Google Play. Now, I myself have given it a go, and the tour of the temples feature is pretty good. And there are other features like this one for bicycle trails, which I was delighted to see, being a keen cyclist. But when one clicks on it, one gets this tiny map that cannot be enlarged. And when a screenshot is expanded, it's all rather blurry. So it has rather limited use. But not to worry, as this is a soft launch of the app, and there is this, a contact page, so you may give feedback on the app. So we may all help by giving that feedback to help create an app that will be most welcome by all who visit the Kingdom of Wonder. It's time to have a look ahead and see what the weather has in store for us next week.
Okay, and here we are at the final chapter of the news, and it's the weather. Before we go there, then hold on, someone's just sent me a message. Oh, it's James from London. Oh, do you know what? James from London, a good friend of mine, went to Oxford. He was in number 10 the other day. There you go, there's James. Yeah, where was I? Oh, the weather. Yes, and as always, I give you a photo of what's been happening in my week, and here it is. And what it is myself and someone I call Spin Stinker. Now, Spin Stinker is absolutely hysterical. There's a bar called Spin Bar, which is just divine, and Spin Stinker lives next door, and she just troops in and out the bar like she owns the joint. She's hysterical. She clambers up these bar stools and then sits at the bar. She's great, and she's sitting there so often. Her parents, at night time, go into her bedroom and say, "Look, where's Spin Stinker?" And they can't find her, and then the father has to go trooping down the stairs across the pavement into the bar and get her out the bar. She spends more time in that bar than any customer. She makes me laugh so much. She's an adorable little Spin Stinker. But there you go, that's Spin Stinker. Let's sweep her aside and have a look at the weather. And it's no surprise to nobody. It's rain across the board for the first time this year. And we're looking at the high temperatures. As I scan across, I see the highest is 94 degrees. Humidity at 82. No correction, that's 92. And precipitation levels at 70%.
This has been the Khmer Times News. Please do subscribe and comment and stay up to date with all the breaking news by following us on both Facebook and Telegram. This has been Paolo Bonini, and that was the week that was. I'll see you next weekend for your weekly Roundup.